No, we don't.
We're working on things. God is so good to us. He's a wonderful God, and I am so thankful because He is such a wonderful, wonderful God. And He is so good to us. And because He is so good, we are sitting here today talking to you and talking with each other. This is Thursday, January the 20th. And what is this
Happy
special day?
birthday, Mama.
This is Mama's birthday. She would be 90 years old today.
Happy birthday, Miss Cleo.
Yeah, she would be 90 years old today. And so today our our topics are critical race theory and why some want it banned. And so I'm going to switch these around here. Okay. I'm going to put a comma right there. Oh, shoot. Okay, but anyway, dear God, as we sit before you to speak, we pray to you that our souls you will keep. And if we should die before we finish, we pray to you that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. Now, Clee, if you would do the introduction on why we're talking about this, please.
Why? Because of my daughter. It was something that she read yesterday. I think it ran her hot. That it's Florida.
Uh-huh.
Florida is actually Florida is trying to stick up for the white folks. That's what I got out of it. That's what I got because that's how it started out.
Uh-huh.
Except for the white people, is what it
Mm-hmm.
says.
Mm-hmm.
Critical race theory. They're trying to get
Mm-hmm.
it banned so that it's it's you can't make somebody else feel bad about racial slurs or racial deeds. You can't make somebody else feel bad about it. This is what this is about. And it's uh is it Governor or Senator DeSantis? However you say
DeSantis.
his name, DeSantis. Uh-huh.
DeSantis. Uh-huh.
Yes, that's doing this.
Excuse me, please. Yes. Yes. It's cold down here and it's
It's
cold there
cold
too.
here too. Yes, and it's getting
Mm-hmm.
colder. And they've already called out school for tomorrow
Okay. Okay.
because that's how cold it's supposed to get.
Okay. Okay. Well, yes, I did the weather report. I finally found all of my states that I'm related to. And so I put that on the SPOke radio weather report today. I put Kentwood, I put Wichita, Kansas, I put Denison, Texas, I put Austin, Texas, I put Arlington, Texas, and there's some more that I related to, but I put those on there. So the weather report, they're included in the weather report. Hello, everyone. It's such a wonderful day, and we are so thankful that you're here. And
In the neighborhood.
uh, we mentioned earlier that our mother's birthday is today. January 20th is Mama's birthday, and we're just so thankful that we are here today to witness another birthday for Mama. We are
Amen.
so it's such a privilege and an honor. So we're talking about this critical race theory, and as Clee was saying that Jennifer saw an article yesterday where this Senator DeSantis is trying to get it banned, the teaching of it banned. But the thing
Mm-hmm.
of it is that they mostly teach it in law school. So they're not really like teaching it in the school, but what he's trying to do is to pass a law
Yeah.
like it's going to do some good. Passing the law doesn't make people better because if passing laws and putting them on the books made people better, racism, hatred, and all that would not exist today. Slavery
Mm-hmm.
would not exist today. There is
Mm-hmm.
a law against slavery, but yet slavery exists and is well played here in the United States of America, not just other countries. Slavery, except for
Exists.
what
Yes,
the
it does.
difference,
Yes, it
uh-huh,
does.
it's not just only our race of people, but it's other races of people. They bring those people here, and then some are here, and these people take these people into their homes, and these people go in being nannies or being
Mm-hmm.
servants and to these people. And these people, like especially if they come from another country, what they do is they take these people's passports
Mm-hmm.
and keep them. These people have no power. They didn't come over here thinking they would be enslaved, but this is what the people do to them.
Amen.
And there are even people
Mm-hmm.
here that people have enslaved. And Cleester, just like you were saying back in that family that you know, that were in
Uh-huh.
slavery for years and
Yes.
years.
Yes.
Yes, a
Yes.
family you know was enslaved
Mm-hmm.
for years and years, and some of them are still alive today. They had no idea that they could be free.
Nope.
So the laws were on the books, but that didn't. So
Mm-hmm. That's
how
right.
putting a law on the book does not change people's hearts, does not change their minds. It might make them more conscious of the fact that by them putting a law on the book, that this, if I break that law, then I'm in the wrongs. But so what they do, many, is become more creative, try to find loopholes in the law. If they can't find loopholes in the law, what they do, they're more creative about how they initiate this hatred and all this prejudice and
Yes,
everything.
that is.
So putting
Mm-hmm.
this stuff on the books doesn't solve the issue. But I do want to go into that. DeSantis, he was talking about it. What Jennifer sent us, I have it on my phone. I don't know whether my phone will go out. But what I'm going to say is what is critical race theory and why do Republicans want to ban it in schools? Okay, so teachers across the country are caught in the middle
Mm-hmm.
because some of them think that they might lose their jobs if this law is passed. So let me get into
Yep, that's
the
true.
the.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So the latest front, we're talking about this critical race theory, and I'm going to give you some history on it and how it came about. So the latest front in the culture wars over how U.S. students should learn history and civics is the concept of critical race theory, an intellectual tool set for examining systemic racism. And anybody, whether they don't like me or if I don't like them, because of the color of their skin, anybody with any kind of sense, if they would be fair about it and think rationally, know they know that there is
Mm-hmm.
systemic racism that
Mm-hmm.
exists all over the world and is hard and heavy here in the United States of America. And they don't want to face up to the fact that it is, but they know it is because they're exercising it by changing all the voting laws. They just refused to eliminate that filibuster. And so the Rights Act did not pass. It didn't pass because people don't want us to have the right to vote, because when we come together and we gather together and we come together on one accord, then things happen. It
Things happen.
shakes
That's right.
things up. Look at President Obama becoming a president of the United States because we came together and then brought other people into the fold togetherness and got him elected as president of the United States twice.
Yes.
Then here comes Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. The people
Yes.
banded together, and put him in office almost by a landslide.
Yep. Made history.
That's right. And
Made
so
history.
and so now we have Kamala Harris, who is claiming to be part of us. Okay. I say claiming to be. So, a lot of times people can take this the way they want to. A lot of times people use the best thing to get them where they want to go. And then when they get it to where they want to go, they lose it. Okay. They, what is it? Conveniently use it, lose it. Okay. They use it. Then when they get what they want, they lose it. Just
Lose it.
like a lot of these people who are in Congress and the Senate, who are in these positions, political leaders, people who represent us, are supposed to represent us. When they get into that position, they treat us like we're the ones that have to obey them. When we put them, vote them in, to represent us and do the best things for us. But once they get up there, it's been going on for years and years and years and years. Once they get in that position, we put them there, then they go and do what they want to, make all kinds of compromises, don't do what's best for us, and then vote themselves in for 40, 50, and 60 years up there doing nothing for us.
Yep.
Okay, now, the systemic, okay, racism. With roots in academia, the framework has become a flashpoint as Republican officials across the country seek to prevent it from being taught in schools. And so, as I was reading earlier today, it said, but it's not being taught in schools, not right now. But the thing is, it's being taught in the law schools.
Mm-hmm.
That's where people, but they don't want it to come into the school. So some lessons and anti-racism efforts, however, reflect foundational themes of critical race theory, particularly that racism in the United States is systemic. The New York Times landmark 1619 project, which addresses slavery's role in shaping the nation, also has an associated school curriculum. So at least 5 Republican-led state legislatures have passed bans. At least 5 have passed bans on critical race theory or related topics in recent months. And conservatives in roughly 9 other states are pressing for similar measures. Some teachers have said they worry that the legislation will have a chilling effect on robust conversations or could even put their jobs at risk at a time when the nation is embroiled in a reckoning on race relations. They don't want it. They're trying to play like that racism doesn't exist.
Yes.
And
Right.
they're showing prime examples of racism by doing these things that they're doing. And so
Mm-hmm.
what it is, they're afraid because the people are banding together and they are making things happen. They're voting them out and voting other people in that can help us. And so we're looking at the elections in 2021, how they've ousted some of the Republicans and put Democrats in there. But then we still
Mm-hmm.
have to be careful to watch these Democrats because some people are really of a different party, but they'll run in the party that they feel they can get the position in. And then when they get in the position, then they show who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I have about these political figures and all of this, you have to really, what is that they say, 6 in one hand and a half dozen
Have
on
it
the
on.
other. You have to
Yes.
be careful because you know what? When you are opposing someone, this is the thing I have about our party. And they know that the other party, the other major party, is vicious. Those people are vicious. They don't bite their tongues and
Mm-hmm.
they do what's best for them and what they feel like their constituents want.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them lean toward racism.
Yep.
So the Democrats are always supposed to be trying to play nice and try to sit on the fence. When you are opposing someone, you play to win. You play to win. You don't try to compromise with people when there's a victory in front of you. There's a race to be won, and one or the other has to win the race. You put forth your best effort to win that race. And when you see that the people you're racing against or the person you're racing against, they're crooked, they're trying to make you stumble and all that, you don't
Mm-hmm.
stop and say at the end of the race, well, I saw you were trying to make me fall, but we can talk about this later. Honey, child, the Democrats are not firm enough. They're wishy-washy and they don't protect us like they should. They're trying to compromise when the other people are taking rights away, right and left. Systemic
Amen.
racism, systemic racism. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. I don't know how many. Let me
She
pull
done
this
got
down.
worked
Try
up.
and see. Yes, we're 9 people. I see we have 9 people on here. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm worked up because the Democrats do not protect us.
Nope.
They do not protect us. They're so busy trying to play nice with these vicious people up there that oppose them instead of doing what they have to do. You're in it to win it. Whatever it takes to win it for your constituents, that's what you do within your power. I'm not talking about
Mm-hmm.
anything hateful and all that, but you have the power. We put people up there to protect us. And they get up there and get wishy-washy and give this away and give this away, compromise on this and compromise on that
Right.
instead of standing firm. And they're trying to be friendly when the other
Mm-hmm.
people are being vicious and
Yes.
by any
Mm-hmm.
means necessary. They are getting what they want. Look, President Biden won. They have changed laws about the mail-in ballots,
Yep. Yep.
people giving water to people in the line who are waiting to vote. They've closed polling places, made them farther apart. So they have
Yes.
taken them out of neighborhoods where people could get to them
Mm-hmm.
kind of easily. It wasn't so hard for them to get there. But now they have closed them down. They have done this gerrymandering.
Yes.
They have spaced them
Mm-hmm.
out all over the place. I
Mm-hmm.
was looking on the news where a line, like just a few inches across one a community from the other, and then so this community over here had to go way somewhere else to cast
And
their
mm-hmm.
votes. And
Yes.
then the people are up there playing patty cake, bake and bake me a cake as fast as you can. And the Republicans are slicing and cutting and all of that to
That's
get
right.
what they want. And look at
Mm-hmm.
one man up there. What's his name? Manchin. He is holding up so much progress. And I'm thinking, why does he have so much power
Much power. Yes.
that he can hold the president's progress up?
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
the Republicans said, now, patty cake, bake, I mean. And then I heard something else. I heard, now we need them to take care of this business. I'm talking about systemic racism. And somebody, I heard it on the news or somewhere. I have to research this and then I'll know whether it's true. Said that Nancy Pelosi had a bill passed to we have to pay for her campaign to be reelected.
Well,
Now I heard that. I haven't researched it, but I heard that. See, they're doing things. They're up there getting money on top of the table,
yes.
under the
Uh-huh.
table, on the
Mm-hmm.
table legs, under the seat, everywhere. They get
Everywhere. Yep.
money for their
Yep.
offices, their satellite offices. They get money for furniture and all kinds of expenses and all of that. We're paying that. And they're
Mm-hmm.
sitting up there playing patty cake, baker man, while these other people are slicing our rights right and left and top and bottom. They're not doing what they were put there to do, but that they're nonchalant, they're complacent, been there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They
Yes.
need to be out of there because they're not doing us an
They're not
ounce
doing
of
a
good.
thing. That's right.
Okay, so critical race theory, academic framework. So the writings that coalesced into critical race theory date from the 1970s when the late Harvard Law School professor Derek Bell expressed frustration with what he saw as the limitations of the civil rights movement. He and other legal scholars, including Kimberly Crenshaw, Richard Delgado, and Mari Matsuda, among others, contended that civil rights laws and court victories had not actually managed to eradicate racial injustice. No, if writing a law could stop people from feeling bad about racism, That would be good. But writing the law has nothing to do with how people feel.
That's right.
And just like I
Mm-hmm.
said in the beginning, if the laws were so effective, then we wouldn't have it like it is today. And just like Will Smith and Sean, what's Sean's name? Combs?
Carter. Carter.
Carter. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's Jay-Z, right? They
Yes.
have this going now about the Mamie Till story and the Emmett Till story.
Right.
And we look at how much power those crooked, prejudiced people had. The sheriff made a decision and told them to get that body in the ground before sundown. The sheriff, not the coroner, not the mayor, not the heads, but
Mm-hmm.
him. And
Mm-hmm.
then people took, and then they here lately just closed the case again without doing anything to anybody about it. But yet we have laws that say racism is not right, but that didn't change anything. It has not changed anything yet. So that systemic racism, it does exist. We know when we go to the courts, we can tell by the prison system. We can
Oh
tell how
yeah.
many of our people are
Oh yeah.
incarcerated, how many Hispanic people, Latin American people, how many of those
Mm-hmm.
people, Latinos, are
Mm-hmm.
incarcerated compared to other people.
Right.
Systemic racism exists. It will always
And well
exist,
and is alive and well.
alive and well. So now, this may, Kiara Bridges, author of Critical Race Theory, a primer, said traditional civil rights discourse maintained that racism would end when people stopped thinking about race. That'll never happen
Not
because they're
at
not
all.
going to let it happen. They're not going to let it happen. The dissenting scholars, she said, rejected that conclusion and believed race consciousness was necessary to overcoming racial stratification. Critical race theory emerged as an organized field in 1989 when academics gathered for the first workshop on critical race theory. So this is not just something that popped up.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that's been going on for a while. We
Yes.
know that
Mm-hmm.
racism exists. We know that.
Yes.
It's just awful. It's awful. It's awful. The way of thinking compels us to confront critically the most explosive issue in American civilization, the historical centrality and complicity of law in upholding white supremacy. Some of the founding scholars wrote in 1995 in The Critical Race Theory, the key writings that formed the movement. So while critical race theory does not have a set of doctrines, its scholars say they aim to overturn what they characterize as a bond between law and racial power. Critical race theory holds that race is a social construction upheld by legal systems and that racism is banal and common. And it is. Under the framework, George Floyd's killing and Black Americans' higher mortality rate from COVID-19 are not aberrations, Bridges said. Critical race theory is an effort really to move beyond the focus on finding fault by impugning racist motives, racist bias, racist prejudice, racist animus, and hatred to individuals, and looking at the ways in which racial inequality is embedded in structures in ways that of which we are very often unaware, said Kendall Thomas, co-editor of Critical Race Theory, the key writings that formed the movement. So clear, I'm not going to go on because you have something on that too, and it's 125, but I just want to say this.
But we're pretty much on the same thing because you're naming the same
Right,
people that I have. So we're pretty
right,
much doing the same.
right, but I want you to do what you have too. But the thing is, passing a law is not going to make these people act better.
No, it's not. It's not.
because we have laws on the books now. We have laws that say if you rob a bank, you go to jail. They're robbing banks every day. If you kill someone, you're going to jail. They're killing people every day.
Mm-hmm.
Police, if you shoot
Yeah.
a person of color, if you murder them, that's against the law. But they say, hey, I am the law. So how many have gotten away with it?
Mm-hmm.
They do
Mm-hmm.
it because they know that they will not suffer the consequences. Maybe they will make an example out of maybe what I would say 2%. That's mine. It just came off the top of my head. But most of them get away with it, been
Yep.
getting away with it. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they're doing, how many they've killed or anything, because I'm telling you, that racism is an evil demon. It exists now. It will continue to exist. And then this Delgado, his name,
He's not
see,
white.
so they seem to
I'm
think in
looking
this,
at him. He was not.
right, he's not. And so what they say is that they feel like he's trying to please his Caucasian constituents and his buddies up there. But let me tell you
Then they
something,
call him something they don't want to know. He don't want to hear about.
let me tell Delgado something. You can pass all the laws to favor people. You can do
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want. But
Mm-hmm.
baby, they're looking for you to make one thing that they don't like. Do one thing that they don't
One
like,
thing.
whether
And
it's a mistake
you gonna hear more
or
about
not.
peppers than you done heard in your life.
Baby, they are looking to ruin you. They
Yes.
are looking to ruin you.
Sitting up there
Ask
grinning.
ask these people, who is this rapper that those people went to the concert, and some of them, and I prayed for the families, and I'm praying for him too. He was on stage, Cleve.
Yes.
Thousands and
Yes.
thousands and thousands of people were there
Yes.
cheering him
I don't
on,
remember his name.
waiting on him to come on
Yes.
stage like other
Mm-hmm.
concerts. The
Yes.
other concerts where they've had tragedies, and it's because
Mm-hmm.
the situations, it's not safe in those areas. They let too many people in there. It's too crowded. So really, the blame should be on the city and
Mm-hmm.
on the venue where it was. But they loved him so much. Thousands and thousands and thousands were there to witness his concert.
Yes. Becky said
Then,
Travis Scott.
how they can get Travis Scott.
Okay. Thank you, Becky.
People got hurt. Thank you, Becky. Love you. People got
Thank you,
hurt.
Jennifer. You too. Okay. Yeah, right.
Love you, Jennifer.
Right.
People got hurt, and they are after his inners. They want
And
everything he has.
yep.
They want, the man is rich. And so
Mm-hmm.
rich, when you're rich, there's power.
Yes.
And so he's okay as long as he's meeting their what is certifications or how they feel that he should be acting and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't think, and that's why I look at these people who have made it big. They're billionaires and millionaires, and they think that everybody. I don't see how they could be so naive to think that everybody loves them and likes them, because
Right.
they don't. They're just tolerating you. Do something. Do something that they don't like. Who was that? One of the guys, was it Wayne Brady? I don't want to be saying the wrong name, but remember they tried to accuse him of something, being in a club, and some woman said he tried to touch her. He touched her. Wayne Brady, popular. I think it was him. Now, forgive
Wasn't it
me if it
Cuba?
was.
Wasn't it Cuba Gooding?
I don't know. It was one of those up there. Now they
Was
love
it Cuba?
them.
I think it was Cuba Gooding
It
Jr.
could have been. It could have been Wayne. Forgive me
Because
if
they
I'm
had
saying.
a video of it.
Okay, if I'm saying this wrong, please forgive me. I'm not trying to
I think I'm right. I
scandalize
don't know.
or falsely, but clearly you might be right. But anyway, the point is everybody loves him.
Mm-hmm.
He's on TV.
Mm-hmm.
He's a movie
Mm-hmm.
star. They be trying to pull
Mm-hmm.
his clothes off when he's signing autographs and all that kind
Yep.
of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
then they put this out there and they want to hate him. They want to sue him. They want to
Yep.
take everything he has.
Mm-hmm.
People, Don't be deceived. I don't understand it. They tolerate you because they have to. They want to be you.
Yeah.
They can't be you, so they tolerate you. But you
Mm-hmm.
do something that they feel like they can get a grip on and they can ruin you, baby. They're looking for you. Look at O.J. Simpson, the juice.
Yes. Yes.
They
Prime
loved,
example.
they
Prime
loved it,
example.
O.J. Simpson. You
Yes.
hear me? They loved
Yes.
it him.
They loved it him. They sure did.
Even though they
Mm-hmm.
could not prove.
Right.
I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't. They could not prove
Yep. That's right.
that he did it.
Beyond the
He,
shadow of a doubt. They
he was
could not.
acquitted.
Yes. Yes.
But that didn't stop there.
No, it did
But they
not.
loved it, O.J. Simpson. They couldn't get him right there. But you know what? There's this saying that Elder Davis told me about this man. You know, they used to cheat us when we go to the store. People think they say, oh, Mr. So-and-so, let me have credit. Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, let me have credit in that store. You know, this used to be years ago.
Yeah.
So they go in there and say, would you put it on my bill? And they say, I want so many pounds of this. I want so many pounds of that. They cut it and put it on there. So this man was weighing the food that the man had ordered. And so he had his thumb on the scale. And so you know what that does.
That means they
It
be pushing down on the weight.
makes it weigh more. And so he
Yes.
said, Mr. So-and-so, you got your thumb on that scale. Get your thumb off that scale. You know what he told him?
What?
If I don't get you going up, I'll get you coming down. So either way, they have their eyes on you.
Mm-hmm.
Matters whether you're a billionaire, millionaire, trillionaire, cotilionaire. They
Ooh.
tolerate the people. But once they can get something on them, look at Bill Cosby, America's dad.
Yes. America's
They
dad.
went
Yes.
back past the law,
Statute of
pa-
limitations. Yes, they did.
past, that's right,
They
and
sure
dug
did.
out somebody and made it so that that person could testify because the statute of limitations had run out and she was
Mm-hmm.
beyond that. But
Yep.
they went and got somebody
Yes.
and let it push through so they
Yep.
could put that man in jail.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand people. These people don't care anything
And he
about you.
couldn't, they was trying to keep him from buying NBC. He was fitting to buy NBC. And they did all that to
Limitations.
stop him. Yes.
That's
From
systemic.
buying NBC.
It's all systemic. It's all the people are working together to
Yep.
keep certain people from
Mm-hmm.
progressing and
You
getting
and
too
I.
much. What did the man say about Malcolm X? That's too
That's
much
too
power
much power.
for one man.
Yes, ma'am.
Bill Cosby had too much power and influence.
Yes.
Travis Scott, too much power and influence. Jay-Z,
OJ.
Puffy, Combs,
Yep.
what's his name? Combs, whatever.
General,
All of
they
them.
still bringing up Michael Vick.
Yes. Over, and I love dogs. Now, you know I care about dogs and everything.
Yeah, I know you did,
But
but that happened years ago.
there are people who kill people and they don't harass them as much as they harass that man.
Nope.
So,
No, they don't.
I'm telling you, people need to be careful. And like remember I was telling our nephews and nieces just the other day. People think, oh, Clee, I've gone over my time. Clee,
Keep going. Tell them what you
no,
told them.
Clee,
What did
no,
you tell
go.
them? I still don't know what you told them.
I was talking about people think they're free. And I don't bother anybody about who they choose to love,
Right.
who they choose to marry.
Uh-huh.
I don't bother them about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this systemic racism, and see, there's a false sense of security in that because people think because they've passed these laws, you can't kill a person. Racism is not right. And all of this, that they can just do whatever they want, foolish and fancy free, go
Fancy
wherever they
free.
want, do whatever they want to do.
Yep.
There is some prejudice some people lurking
Mm-hmm.
just to get
Yep.
you where they want you at a certain time. And these people will literally kill you,
Yes, they will. Yes, they
literally
will.
kill you. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave.
Great.
People want you dead. And another thing,
Baby.
we're resilient, we're brilliant.
Yes,
Just about everything that's been invented,
we did it.
hey, we might not have gotten the credit for it
Yep, but we did it.
because they took the credit,
Yep.
made all the money
Yep.
and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yep.
resilient. They threw us off in the ocean, threw us overboard. They shackled us, cut our hands off, cut our heads off, cut our feet off, maimed us, killed
Yep.
us, buried us in the
Mm-hmm.
ground. But we're still here today. Still here today. So what I said, people have to be careful. You can go where you want to, do what you want to, but you must always watch your surroundings. Because look at the man in Jasper. Ella Davis knew them. No, the one that they dragged behind the car.
Right. Uh-huh.
He
Uh-huh.
had no idea. But he's just as dead can be. Trusting people. We're to love people. We're to
Mm-hmm.
love people,
Mm-hmm.
but the Bible tells us to watch as well as pray.
Hello.
Watch and don't
Yes.
be ignorant concerning Satan's wicked devices. Satan is trying to, that's what he is. He's the author of confusion. He keeps things in turmoil and everything because that's what he does.
He's a
And so
snake in the grass.
he puts false security in people's minds and then he puts evil in other people's
Yes.
minds.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bible tells us that evil men will wax worse and worse. It's not going to get any
Any
better.
better. Hello. Thank
So
you.
what we have
Yes.
to do is make sure we're better.
Yes.
So passing a law and all of that, trying to keep people from learning about systemic racism
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
and trying to keep people from feeling bad. If you have any kind of conscience, you ought to have
You also
compassion
feel bad.
for your brothers
Yes.
and sisters.
Yes. Yes.
Compassion, a law cannot make you have compassion. And
Yes. It's
how can
true.
you control somebody else's thoughts anyway? Just because you say, I'm going to pass a law so they won't feel bad when somebody talks about this. A law can't do, as Elder Davis say,
Jack.
one iota about
Iota.
that.
Hey,
One
one iota.
iota about it. Systemic racism is here to stay.
To stay. Yes, ma'am.
Is here to
Yes, it
stay. So
is.
what we have to do is make sure that we watch and pray and don't be ignorant concerning
Mm-hmm.
all of this that's
Mm-hmm.
going on out here because we don't know when we might be the target. People don't like you because of the car you drive.
Yep.
People don't
Yep.
like you because of the clothes you wear. And what did they say about Emmett Till? They said they went and got that 14-year-old boy out of his house, and the guy said they confessed because they couldn't be tried again.
Yep.
And they said we're gonna go get him. These people come down here from the north like they so much, and all that kind of stuff. And so we're gonna take him and teach him a lesson. They confessed
Yep.
after the trial,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
nothing could be done. People, just watch it, watch it. Okay, Clee. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Clee.
Okay,
I'm stopped.
I am here. I am here. I am
Okay,
here.
okay,
And
okay.
mine is just what is critical race theory anyway? Critical race theory is an academic concept that is more than 40 years old. The
Mm-hmm.
core idea is that race is a social construct, that racism is not merely the product of individual bias or prejudice, but also something embedded in legal systems and policies. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
basic tenets of critical care theory, or CRT, emerged out of a framework for legal analysis in the late 1970s and early 1980s, created by a legal scholar, Derek Bell, Kimberly Crenshaw, and Richard Delgado, among others. Those are the names I was telling you about. A
Mhm.
good
Mhm.
example is when in the 1930s, government officials literally drew lines around areas deemed poor financial risks, often explicitly due to the racial composition of inhabitants. Banks
Yes. Mhm.
subsequently, come on, please get it, refused to offer mortgages to black people in those areas.
Mhm.
This is how long it's been going on, the
Mhm.
1930s. Today, those same patterns of discrimination live on through facially race blind policies,
Mhm.
like family size, single family zoning that presents the building of affordable housing and advantage minority white neighborhoods and thus stymies racial desegregation efforts.
Mhm.
CRT also has ties to other intellectual currents, including the work of sociology and literary theorists who've studied links between political power, social organization, and language. And
Mhm.
its ideas have since informed other fields like the humanities, the social sciences, and the teacher's education.
Mhm.
This academic understanding of critical care theory differs from representation in recent popular books and especially from its portrayal by critics,
Mhm.
often though not exclusively conservative Republicans. There we go. You just said it.
Mhm.
Republicans. The
Mhm.
Democrat, the Democrats are just sitting twiddling their thumb, and Republicans run races all around their heads.
Mhm.
Critics charge that the theory leads to negative dynamics, which, as a focus on group identity over universal shared traits, divides people into oppressed and oppressor groups and
Mhm.
urges intolerance. See what I'm seeing there? And they don't. They want
Mhm.
to teach. They want to go from K through 12,
Mhm.
from K through kindergarten. Started at
Mhm.
kindergarten.
Mhm.
Thus, there is a good deal of confusion over what CRT means, as well as its relationship to other terms like anti racism and social justice, with which it is often conflated.
Mhm.
To an extent, the term critical race theory is now cited as the basis of all diversity and inclusion efforts, regardless of
Mhm.
how much it's actually informed those programs.
Mhm.
One conservative organization, the Heritage Foundation, recently attributed a whole host of issues to CRT, including the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests,
Mhm.
LBGTQ clubs in schools, diversity training in federal agencies and organizations,
Mhm.
California's recent ethnic studies model curriculum, the free speech debate on college campuses, and alternatives to exclusionary discipline,
Mhm.
such as the Promise program in Broward County, Florida, that some
Mhm.
parents blame for the Parkland school shootings, which followed to its logical conclusion CRT is destructive and rejects the fundamental ideas on which our constitutional republic is based, the organization claimed. So
Mhm.
there we go. There it is right there. It's been going on since the 1930s, and we still biting the same bullet. We biting the same stuff that they've been doing. Okay, here it goes. Here's a handful of illustrations to keep in mind in understanding this complex idea. In a 2007 U.S. Supreme Court school assignment case on whether race could be a factor in maintaining diversity in K through 12 schools, Chief Justice John Roberts' opinion famously concluded the way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discrimination on the basis of race. There you go. There it is. There it is right there. Enough
Mhm.
said. Common sense. But during oral arguments, then Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, "It's very hard for me to see how you can have a racial objective but a non-racial means to get there. You can't have that can't by non-racial. Critical theory is not a synonym or for culturally relevant teaching, which emerged in the 1990s. This
Mm-hmm.
teaching approach seeks to affirm students' ethnic and racial backgrounds
Mm-hmm.
and is intellectually rigorous.
Mm-hmm.
Rigorous, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's related in that one of its aims is to help students identify and critique the cause of social inequality in their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go, Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There it is right there. They just explained that in the whole nutshell. The
Sure
whole
did.
nutshell. They just explained in a whole nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
they thinking all the time, and the thing that they thinking is how they can get over and mask it as something else.
That's something else. And remember, therefore, they were trying to say that slavery never existed. Talking about we were sharecroppers or
Ah,
whatever, that kind of stuff. Just because people say it doesn't mean that it is or
is
it isn't.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's been
Yes.
proven. It's been proven. We have people now that can tell you that they have been victims of racism, systemic racism. Look at the people in the pen. I saw a man on a clip from is it America's Got Talent or American Idol? One of these where this man came on there to audition, and he had been incarcerated for 37 years in that
Mm-hmm.
Angola prison plea,
Angola, uh-huh.
and he was proven not guilty by the Innocence Project. He
Uh-huh.
went in there when he was a young boy, no proof, nothing.
Nothing.
So he was a young boy, and they put him in there with those hardened criminals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they say that Angola, they call what? They call it the bloodiest prison there is.
There, yeah, that's what it's supposed
Uh-huh.
to be. Uh-huh.
They
Right.
say it is a terrible, but any prison having to go to prison and be wrongfully convicted because people have an agenda. Somebody's got to pay. So we're going to go and get this nigger out of his house and we're going to make him pay. Whether he or not, somebody's got to pay. And it's been like that
Mm-hmm.
for years. And you were talking about we were talking about since the 1930s. That's like that's just recorded when they started
When they say right.
discriminating against us about loans and all of that kind of stuff. But they've been doing that for years.
Jennifer said,
Like
remember those kids that got arrested in New York?
yes, and Donald Trump had something to do with that.
Uh-huh. Remember Henrietta Lacks? They still using Henrietta Lacks.
You talking about her DNA, her
Yes,
tissue?
Tina. Yes,
Yes, and
yes.
her family has not been able to get. That's why I
Not
tell
got
my children.
one red dime.
That's why I tell my children. When I do lab reports and stuff like that, I want to keep close eye on it because sometimes
I'm trying to tell you.
we have things in our bodies, antibodies and things like that. And people, she's not the only one.
Because you
She's
remember when Natalie went in the hospital, they had to make her blood.
Sure did.
They had to make it. The man said he didn't see anything. He's not being able to see. He said, I had to make it. He had to
A
make
special
her blood.
blend.
A
That's
special blend
right.
of blood. He sure did. So I don't tell you what they got of hers.
That's
Because
right.
he had to start somewhere to make her blood.
That's right. But they're not saying anything to us about it.
No, they have not said a word.
Not saying anything.
Not a
And
word. No.
nope. And I want to talk about this 1619 project. How much time do we have?
We got
Oh,
time.
10 minutes.
We got 10 minutes.
And
Yes.
mention that
I did
1619.
good.
You did wonderful, Reedy. You always do good.
But I be nervous. I told you I'd be
That's
nervous.
okay. You still
That's why I be
do.
stuttering over my words. Cause I be nervous.
Don't worry about it. You are doing great, sister.
Yeah, because this is something
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
next to our heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
something that we are going through, and it's
yes.
happening every day, and they want to shut it down.
They want to
They want
shut
to
it
shut
down.
it down and call it something else.
Yes. And when it's been going on for years and
But
years, and
yes.
I'm telling you, if they want to ruin you, they will make up something.
Yep.
Just think of all the land. Elder Davis's family right now, and I haven't heard from Johnny. I don't know whether Johnny is still with us, like living or not, but his family has a lawsuit of against some companies down in Jasper, Texas. They had acres and acres and acres of land and timber.
Mm-hmm.
Those people took that land, took the timber and everything. And when I spoke to Johnny, he called me and he said this was after Ella Davis had left. And when I say left, everybody knows that I
I
mean
know what you mean.
transition into.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying to everybody else, they know we transition into
Right.
eternity. And
Uh-huh.
Johnny called me and he said, when this comes through, you'll get your part. And so I said, okay. Now just think of all the land that people have taken from us. When our people are sitting on prime land, they go and work the land, and the land is productive. Sometimes the other people couldn't make the land work for them. Our people went on the land and got the land to be productive, and then they went in and they wouldn't sell, they killed them off.
Yep.
Look at our
Yep.
Native American family,
Yep. Look at
how
our grandfather. Come on.
how they did them.
How they did him. He wouldn't
Yes,
bow down to him. He wouldn't
right.
bow down to him.
They take your land. If they have to, they will kill you to take your land. There is so much evil that goes on because of greed. Look at
Yes.
us. And we talked about this not too long ago. I might not have gone into it in depth, but look at, we talked about the foods. When our people came to this country, they brought us over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so they rationed our food, and we had to, from history, we had to make do with what we could. They rationed
Yes.
so much out to us and everything,
Uh-huh.
but
Mm-hmm.
people were hungry and everything. So our people, when
Yes,
they kill
ma'am.
the hogs, they kill the hogs, they kill the cows,
Uh-huh.
deer,
Mm-hmm.
chickens,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. They throw away the neck,
Yep.
throw away the feet,
Yep.
throw away the intestines,
Yep.
throw away the head,
The
throw away
feet.
the
Every.
tongue, throw away the gonads, throw throw away the stomach. Our people
Yes. Hey.
took that.
And made a delicacy.
It's a delicacy now. They have
Yes.
almost priced us out of it.
Out of it. Ain't that
We
the truth?
can we
Yes.
can hardly afford to buy chitterlings. Chitlins, we call them chitlins. They're chitterlings, we know, but chitlins, hog tripe, cow tripe, hog malls,
Yeah, you
hog
know,
pig feet, pig tail, the tongue, cow tongues, all
uh-huh.
of that.
You know
We
when I'm sorry,
stuck
I
them.
want to get this on
Go
because we
ahead.
got six
Yeah, do it.
minutes.
Yeah.
When Philip's daddy died,
Uh-huh.
Philip's daddy got a bunch of cows. Yeah, had a whole
Okay.
bunch of cows. When
Okay.
Philip's daddy died, a white man went to the house and told Edna that TL owed him some cows.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Edna told him he should have came while he was still living.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And see, that's how people got over Jennifer.
Yes.
What is it, Papa? Oh, that's what
Papa.
you're talking
Uh-huh.
about.
Yeah, yes.
Jennifer,
Uh-huh.
we're so glad you're with us. You are have
Yes.
we should have had you on here.
Yes.
Should have had you on here. But just think all the stuff. And like I was telling you about down home, I wanted to go visit Papa's grave
Mm-hmm.
down in Chapel Hill, way down in there. But my
Right.
cousin took me down there. They had a fence up, and see, I had been told that the law exists where so nobody can keep you out of a
Out of a
cemetery.
cemetery. Right, right, right.
And that cemetery where Papa and some other people were buried down off in Chapel Hill, we
Uh-huh.
don't even know whether they're still there, whether they took them and threw them away or what.
What?
Because there was
Right.
a fence, a gate there, and she was afraid to even go in. Now,
Or
you
just
know me.
build over the top of them. You know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
And things like that. And so they've been, and like here, right here in Dallas, where they found out these people were trying to take these people out of these graves and use the land to do things. What is it? The Freedman
Mm-hmm.
Cemetery over there.
Mm-hmm.
People do these things, but yet racism doesn't exist. We don't, we are not to some other people, we have no value close to a dog or a chicken.
Yep.
Whatever
Yep.
their pet is, that pet is more
More
valuable
important.
than
Mm-hmm.
a human life. They treated horses
Yep.
and animals better than they did our people. And they
Mm-hmm.
still do. We have a cousin that got his head shot off, and they say it was over a horse.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not know, never remember about the guy going to jail or the pen or anything because he was one of the upper class people in that area
Mm-hmm.
over a horse.
Yep. Yep.
So people have to be careful.
Be careful.
And this Jennifer, this is an awesome topic. You know, I'll get
Yes,
wound up.
Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. This is an awesome topic because people watch as well as pray. We don't know where trouble is, but people don't like you because you're you.
Yep.
People want your skin tone, they want your lips, they want your buttocks, they want your hips, they
Hmm.
want everything, they want your hair,
They want your man. Huh, come on, get on rich. They want the man too.
but they don't want you.
No,
Don't
ma'am.
want you to
No,
exist.
no, no, no.
Don't
Mm-mm.
want you to exist. There are a lot of evil people in this world. Now, there are a lot of very kind, loving people in this world too. But there are some evil people. If they cannot be you, they'll get rid of you
Rid of you. That's right. That's
if
right.
they possibly can and have no remorse
Remorse,
because
right?
you're
That's the
out of the
truth.
way. And you know what? People of your own race, of your own ethnicity, in your own community feel the same way about you. Jealousy and envy and all that is well. It's alive and it is
Uh-huh.
in practice today. Each and
Yes, it
every
is.
day, there are people. So you have to watch everybody. Even though you love, we have to make sure that we have that love in our hearts. Like I said, people can pass as many laws as they want to. How many have done any good? People are still breaking the law.
Yep. Yep.
People are still breaking those laws and they're finding
Mm-hmm.
loopholes,
Oh
finding
yeah.
loopholes
Oh
so
yeah.
they can get
Get
by
away with. Yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
justify what they've done. How many
Mm-hmm.
people have been maimed and killed and somebody lied and said it was self-defense? Look at the young man. What did he have? Was it an ice cream or something he was eating and he had his hoodie on?
The
Trayvon, is it?
Martin, Trayvon Martin. Yeah.
Yes.
He had
The little boy.
the drink, that drink.
Yes, just walking through a neighbor, walking. I think he was going home,
He was
and
going to his daddy's. He was going to his daddy's.
this
Yes.
old evil person, just because he could, went out there and killed that young man, just because of who he was, just because of the stature, his, just because of who he was. He decided he wanted to kill him because he knew he'd get away with it. What is stand your ground? And it
That
wasn't even his
It
ground.
wasn't even his ground. He was supposed to be neighborhood watch.
And then another lady down there of our persuasion, I think she just shot a gun in the air as a warning shot. And they sent that lady to prison. Systemic racism. And do you know that some of these people, these judges, prosecutors, and people like that, they get paid to send you to the pen because they need that slave labor in those pens. Okay,
Yes.
it's 2 o'clock. It's
Yes.
2 o'clock. I'm going to
Yes.
stop. I'm going to stop. Thank you, Jennifer, for being our guest today.
Yes.
We should have put you on camera, Jennifer. Oh my goodness, Breonna Taylor. Yeah, and on home. Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
we love you, everybody. Thank you so
Hi,
much for being with.
Becky. Thank you for
Hello, Rebecca. Oh yes, Skip, Tanya's husband, our first cousin's husband. So that makes Skip our first cousin too. Ramon
Yes.
Skip Walker will
Uh-huh.
be uh, funeralized on Saturday at the Trinity Lighthouse Church in Denison at 11 a.m. And the repast will be there after the funeral.
Okay.
And then Elder Billy McNeil's brother, Elder Darnell McNeil, he will be funeralized on Saturday at 11 o'clock in this
Oh my
area.
God.
So Skip will be memorialized in Denison.
Uh-huh.
And so that's what it is. So we just want you to know that. And I talked with Tanya yesterday, and so everybody just continue to pray. That's all we can do is pray
That's
because
all
there's
we can do.
nothing we can
Yes.
do. The
Nothing else.
inevitable is the inevitable. We love you, Reedy.
Love
We'll talk
you.
later. Love you,
Okay.
Becky. Love you, Jennifer. Love you, everybody. Joe Carolyn, everybody that's with us today. These are the names that
Rhonda,
I can see.
Rodney and
Oh,
Yolanda.
Yolanda.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
so happy you're with us today. Thank you so much. We love each and every one of you. Send us if you have ideas that you want us to discuss topics. Please send them to us. Okay.
Cause y'all know
We
we get
love you.
heated. We get heated on this.
Okay, I'm signing off now. Okay,
Okay. Love you
love
much.
y'all.
All right. Bye
Okay.
bye.